Now, in learning about Lenin's arrival by the Germans, Zhikashvili went out of his way to help bring him, this new champion of communism, to Russia in the hopes of being able to overthrow the Tsar. And so in 1917, the Germans brought Lenin and his entourage to Petrograd, and he was greeted by Zhigashvili and other future founding members of the Communist Party. And one would have thought that that meeting would have been pleasant, but instead Lenin got off the train in a rant. He blasted Zhigashvili, he blasted the editor of the Bolshevik newspaper, which was called Pravda, which is Russian word for truth, and he went off on everybody on the platform and pretty much dressed everyone down in the presence of everyone else. And Zhigashvili became quite skilled at hiding his emotions. He did not react. He chose to do nothing. This man, I guess you could say, was his superior officer, and he chose to wait. And so Zhigashvili also went on to endear himself to Comrade Lenin by, once again, providing all the funds for the Bolshevik party, and by robbing banks and bringing in all the cash. And he went on to become Lenin's right-hand man. And during this time, Zhigashvili would be imprisoned from between 1902 to 1917. He would be sent to gulags. Now, a gulag was the Russian prison work camps where they would go and work out their prison sentences in the work camps for the Tsar. He would be there no less than 7 times during those times. And I have to admit, my mind, when I heard that, went to the beginning of the movie Chicken Run, where you have Ginger who keeps trying to escape, and every time she keeps getting thrown again and again and again in that coal bin. My mind went to that. So there was one particular situation where Zhigashvili was in the gulag, and he was, someone actually recorded an event in their journal about how the guards would often torture the prisoners, and they would make the men run the gauntlet while being butted with the rifle butts of the Tsarist guards. And while most men were cowering with fear and were terrorized by this, he said that Zhigashvili sat calmly in his cell reading a book, completely unfazed by the brutality. I guess his childhood prepared him for the life of brutality. He really was not fazed. He became quite brutal. Many of the bank robbings he did actually resulted in him butchering everybody who was there. So he decided when he came back from the gulag for the last time that he wanted a more Russian name, not a Georgian name. And he decided to change his name to a man of steel. From that time forward, he was known as Iosef Stalin. Joseph Stalin. More on that to come.